Welcome to yet another episode on Focus on Tourism. I'm Ajwa, and here we have with us the President of Africa Tourism Research Network, Mr. Emmanuel Frimpong. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Would like to say a big thank you to our sponsors, CH Travel and Tour. With CH Travel and Tour, they offer services like flight ticketing, hotel booking, visa assistance, car rentals, study abroad. You can contact them on 024 306 8558, 024 306 8558, or you can contact them on their landline 030 231 8932, 030 231 8932. Also would like to say thank you to Hansonic Hotel. Hansonic Hotel has the best accommodation, affordable and easy place to be. Anytime you are in Dansoman looking for accommodation, Hansonic Hotel is the best place to be. They have nice restaurants that offer varieties of dishes. You can contact them on 030 230 0849, 030-230-0849. Today we are here to discuss about sustainable tourism. Can you tell us a little bit about what you know concerning sustainable tourism?
Basically, when we talk about sustainable tourism, let me bring it down so that the ordinary person can understand. It comes from the word sustain. So if you add a tourism, sustainable tourism, it's all about how do we do tourism without destroying our environment, our places of work, and anything that has to do with tourism. So if you go to a place like Kakum Forest, which we invite tourists to come, how do we manage it in such a way that we don't also destroy or make the ecosystem there inhabitable? How do we invite tourists to come in without making the animals there uncomfortable or destroying the forest reserve that we have? So basically, sustainable tourism is what we do as tourism business practitioners without destroying our environment.
So when we talk about sustainable practices, we know that it contains maybe supporting local businesses and all that. So can you tell me what supporting local business helps in sustaining tourism?
Well, if you look at sustainable tourism, most of the times it involves communities, rural communities. And I always say that if we keep telling people, don't do this, don't do that, people must survive. Rural communities must survive. And they farm to survive. They hunt to survive. So if we say don't do this, then there must be alternative. You don't just tell them not to do this and then ask them to survive. So then what we need to do is to provide the alternative for what they were doing that was destroying the environment, the inhabitants, and then the habitat. So then we need to find alternative job opportunities for them, alternative way of living, so that they won't destroy the environment.
Okay, that's very true. At the end of the day, both benefit the locals and also the government as well. But also exploring our local culture, which helps in sustaining tourism. How best can we do that?
That's an interesting question because in Africa we are known by our culture and our heritage and who we are as a people. So if you move to any African country, you see a unique culture. Therefore, we need to, and there's something that is going on in most African countries. We are gradually losing our culture. We are losing it because, one, we have opened our doors for international tourists to come in. And when they come with their own culture. Yes, they take some of our culture away, but they also come with their own culture. And somehow, some way, we seem to be enjoying their culture more than we do. And of course, there is also exposure that we get from the internet, from TV and other places where we want to be like people that are not from us. Okay, so gradually there's this infusion in our culture to the extent that when you go to our schools, even the schools in the rural areas where I went to a rural school, I went to a village school, where we use local language to teach and other things. Now we don't see that happening anymore. So you have a family in the cities who don't even teach their children their mother tongue, the language. They speak English at home. So we are losing our language as a people. We are losing our culture as a people. We used to have this thing where by the fireside where Anansi stories were told. Now we don't hear Anansi stories again. We also don't go to our villages again. Those of us who have come to Accra, how often do we send our children to home? How often do we even go home? We only do that when there is a funeral that is so close to us. So we are gradually losing our culture. And if you look at the educational system, we don't also inculcate our culture, our heritage very much into our educational system. So gradually we are losing our culture.
It's surprising that you made mention of the languages, because most European countries still speak in their dialects. Like the Germans obviously teach in their German languages, but it's so sad that when you come to Africa, you just see the opposite. In our previous episode, our guest made mention of a marriage ceremony he had to witness in Botswana, which was the local way of doing it. But coming back to Ghana, you notice that we've cultivated this Western way of getting married and all that. And with what you're saying, it really shows that it's driving away drastically, and we have to put measures in place for that. But Mr. Frimpong, can you also tell us about how people can benefit from using public transportations and these biking in order to sustain our tourism?
It's very important. I don't know if you've read, I think yesterday, from the past few days, that Ghana is the most polluted country in the world now. But if you have observed in Accra for some few days or weeks, the whole atmosphere is so dusty. The whole environment is so dusty. Anywhere you go, we see some kind of pollution around. Now, one of the things that we need to do is to reduce the number of cars that are on the roads, because if we are able to do that, then what it means is that we can manage to a certain level how we pollute the environment. And using the public transport is also good because, of course, it reduces road traffic. Because if you have 20 or 30 or 40 people in a bus, that will take away about 4 cars out of the street. And some buses can take as many as 100 if you have the double-decker buses. If you are using trains, that also helps. And it also helps our roads instead of maintaining and doing roads every now and then. So public transport is extremely important. But the question is, should we allow government to get into public transport space, or the government should manage how it is also done in some countries like Rwanda, Kenya, South Africa? The government is highly involved in the management of public transport, such that the government also has some buses that run. The private sector, you can't charge anyhow, so it helps. But in our part of the world, these private car associations have become so powerful that they determine fares they want to charge and that sort of thing. So we have to look at it very well. If government wants to come in, how is the government coming in? For me, I think there should be a way around it. If we also allow competition, the government should be able to have buses, if not for the public, but at least for government workers and associations that can also go into contract with government that, okay, pick our workers up every morning, bring them back every evening, and this is how much we want to. I think that will also help to manage the public transport system.
Thank you so much. But how about using eco-friendly tours? How about those ones as well?
We have no option to use eco-friendly tours, because if we don't and we destroy the environment will destroy us. So again, that goes back to the public transport, because if we are using public transport, What it means is that then we are gradually becoming eco-friendly people, because in that case we are not polluting the environment, and when we pollute the environment will retaliate, give us diseases, give us sicknesses, and then we will die. So nature has a way of taking care of itself. If we try to abuse nature, nature will revenge, and then we will destroy ourselves. So we have no option but to be eco-friendly and make sure that we plant trees. If you drive along any road in Accra, especially in Accra, maybe 10-15 minutes you won't even see a tree. We've cut all the trees. So we have to get back to planting trees along the roads, and people should be responsible and be also conscious of planting trees in their homes. Last year 10 million trees were planted. I don't know where, because if you walk around Accra you don't know where the trees were really planted. So we need to actually be conscious about that.
That's very interesting. And I also noticed that when it comes to sustaining tourism, we have to be mindful of our natural resources, with how you just spoke about nature. So how best can we do that as well?
That's a challenge, because we all know the Galamsey menace, then deforestation that is going on. Government might deny it, people might deny it, but it's a fact that we are destroying our forest reserves. If you go to Atiwa as we speak right now, people are still mining there. Galamsey is going on. If you go to some places, people are cutting trees. My father passed away just last year. We went to do the funeral in our village, a village that when I was growing up, people used to laugh at us that our village was the last point of the world, because you could see the forest so thick. Every morning you see the vapor. I went there and was literally gone. They've cut the timber, everything. They are doing Galamsey there. So we need to think again as a people. We have been told by Ghana Water Company that very soon we will start importing water, because our water, they are spending so much money to treat our water for us to be able to drink it. They can't continue to do that. Why? Because we are destroying the forest. Galamsey is going on. Our activities are destroying the environment. So we need to pay attention to the forest and see how we are degrading every natural resources that we have.
This is so sad to hear. I want to know something, Mr. Frimpong. How does the destination support local communities and economies?
When we talk about destination, you can look at it from different angles. So you can look at a nation as a destination, because people come here, they come to Ghana. You can also look at region as a destination. You can look at a district as a destination. Then you can look at an attraction site as a destination. So if you look at all these levels, they have a way of supporting jobs and supporting communities. For instance, if you take a community like Kintampo, right? If we did our things right, Kintampo Waterfalls, we'll have the waterfalls, we'll have a restaurant, we'll have, if not a hotel, we'll have a motel, or we'll have a budget hotel, something when people go they will sleep. They will have places where people will do slippers and sell. People will do all sorts of things and sell. So by promoting the destination or a site, you are also introducing new jobs opportunities for the communities. So you can also train some of them to be community guides, some of them to be tour guides, some of them to even be electricians, some of them to be plumbers, because they will have opportunity to work there. So these are opportunities that when you promote a destination and you build a destination very well, then naturally it will have other jobs that will be linked to the destination, and it will support the community.
Would like to say a big thank you to our sponsors, CH Travel and Tour. With CH Travel and Tour, they offer services like flight ticketing, hotel booking, visa assistance, car rentals, study abroad. You can contact them on 024 306 8558, 024 306 8558, or you can contact them on their landline 030-231-8932. 030-231-8932. Also would like to say thank you to Hansonic Hotel. Hansonic Hotel has the best accommodation, affordable and easy place to be. Anytime you are in Dansoman looking for accommodation, Hansonic Hotel is the best place to be. They have nice restaurants that offer varieties of dishes. You can contact them on 030-230-0849. 030-230-0849. I agree with you on this one, because I believe even training the community people, they understand best about the tourist attraction that is over there, so they can speak more into it than bringing someone from outside. Exactly. But what are the steps that are to be taken to preserve and protect the environment?
The steps: one, we the people have to know the negative impact of our activities on the environment, and then the ripple effect on us as a people. So what we need to do is we have to be conscious of reforestation or tree planting. So for me, we have to start from the schools. We have to educate children to know the activities that they do that will impact negatively on the environment. We also have to inculcate that habit of children loving to plant trees, and we also have to inculcate in them the habit of keeping the environment clean, so you don't throw rubbish around, especially plastics. If you use plastic, you have to make sure that you put it where it's supposed to be put. I'm going to be political here. We have to be conscious as a nation to ban single-use plastic materials. Countries are doing it. Why is it that we cannot do it? There are a lot of reasons for it, but it's not scientifically proven, so we can't say it here. But we should be able to ban it. If we cannot take care of it, then let's ban it, because it's not helping us. Everywhere you go in Accra, you see plastic waste. You go to the beach, they see plastic waste, and nobody is doing anything. We know where these plastics are coming from. We know those who are using it. There should also be conscious education. We need to educate community the negative impact of these plastic waste. There should be visuals to let people know that the diseases that are connected to these plastic waste, and the fact that if you leave a plastic waste, it will take hundreds of years before it is decomposed, and by then we are destroying the food that we plant and everything. So we need to be conscious about that and start training. And for me, churches must also, and of course Islamic religion should also take interest in that thing, because if we say we are a country that is 70 plus Christians and Islamic about 15 or so percent, then these two religions have a responsibility to also educate in that sense, so that we begin to be more nationalistic, think of our environment, think of what we can do in our own small way to support the environment.
I actually agree with you, because the only country I have traveled to is Mauritius, and as I was there, I realized that, like you just said, we have to ban plastic usage, and they have actually banned it, and it helps to keep the environment clean. Like the use of polythene bags, you don't get to see them around. They actually sell it if you want to. So as you're buying it, you end up keeping it safe rather than just throwing it away anywhere. So I think Ghana can actually start implementing those things. Yes. So can you also tell me if there are any initiatives in place to promote cultural preservation and respect?
Yes, so from the government level, I know the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture has an agency under it, National Commission on Culture. They keep educating people on cultural heritage. Ghana Tourism Authority also does that, and then some schools also have some curriculum that is dealing with our culture and our heritage, and then also there are also some tourism associations. I can talk of TOSOGA, Kids in Tourism, Tourism Aid, and a few others that are also promoting our culture. But we need to have a way of also supporting them so that they can help teach our culture to our children, to know our culture. And we also have to look at how we can promote our culture on our TV screens, our movies, our songs. All of them should be able to teach our culture. In the past, we used to have Ejako Nimos and all those people trying to teach us about our culture in their songs and movies and arts. But now let's look at the kind of song that we have now. Does it promote our culture? I don't know. So we have to look at it critically and then work on what we produce here.
That's very true. Like you said initially, I think the education needs to start from school as well, because the kids definitely is the future and they need to know more of their culture. But is there any effort to minimize the carbon footprint and promote eco-friendly practices?
I don't know of any efforts. I think I heard there is carbon something tax. I don't know. But I don't know of any conscious effort by government that we are looking at how we can curtail the carbon footprint. We must. I know the airlines, when you buy your ticket, check on it. There's some tax component that's supposed to deal with that, but I don't know how we use it and what we are doing to make sure that carbon footprint is actually curtailed. I know some NGOs are helping to plant trees. Some even go to the extent of calculating if you travel, use the airlines, they calculate for you your carbon footprint. If you are driving, I don't know who is checking that for you. That if you drive from Accra to Kumasi, this is your carbon footprint, and therefore you have to plant a tree or two to actually take care of what you've destroyed. So we need to have a conversation on that. The agencies that are responsible should be looking at that, and then people have to be conscious of what we do. If you don't have to drive, don't drive. If you can take a trotro, why not take the trotro? But again, it comes back to how the public transport is also managed, and if we manage it well. The Alolo, I loved taking it on Fridays, but sometimes quite challenging because it comes and it's so packed you can't even breathe and it's not clean. So if we can have good buses spaced and you know that it comes on time, I think a lot of people will take it, and that will reduce our carbon footprint. But for now, nobody's calculating, so we don't know, and it's unfortunate. Ghana has become the most polluted country in the world, and that is not a good title. So we have to work towards it and look at all the burning that is going on. If you go to some places around Accra, you see used products being burnt to take something from, I don't know, it's dangerous.
Very dangerous. It's so sad to hear these, but I just hope that we can actually work towards improving a better economy. Mr. Frimpong, do you have any last words to say, especially on sustainable tourism?
My last words will be sustainable tourism, or sustainability is everyone's business. It's not just about those of us in tourism. Anytime you are moving your car, think about the environment. Whatever you are doing, think about the environment, because whether it is good or not, it will have either positive or negative impact on the environment. When you throw rubbish away, it has negative impact on the environment. And the environment also has a way of punishing us. And we've seen floods, we've seen the polluted environment that we are all inhaling. We don't know the impact that it will have on us in the next few years. So all these things are things that will impact negatively on us. So let's think very well on whatever we are doing. Always think about sustainability. When you throw things away, think about sustainability. When you can reuse something, think about it and reuse it. Don't just throw things away.
Always think about sustainability. That's the final words of Mr. Emmanuel Frimpong. Thank you once again, Mr. Emmanuel Frimpong, for joining us today on Focus on Tourism. It's been a pleasure sitting here with you, chatting on sustainable tourism. Thank you. Thank you also to our CEO, Ato Brakwa, and also to our number one supporter, Hansonic Hotel. To support this program, you can call us on 050-912-3404. Again, is 050-912-3404. Would like to say a big thank you to our sponsors, CH Travel and Tour. With CH Travel and Tour, they offer services like flight ticketing, hotel booking, visa assistance, car rentals, study abroad. You can contact them on 024-306-8558, 024-306-8558, or you can contact them on their landline 030-231-8932. 030-231-8932. Also would like to say thank you to Hansonic Hotel. Hansonic Hotel has the best accommodation, affordable and easy place to be. Anytime you are in Dansoman looking for accommodation, Hansonic Hotel is the best place to be. They have nice restaurants that offer varieties of dishes. You can contact them on 030-230-0849. 030-230-0849. Thank you as well to our CH Media team. Thank you as well for joining us on Focus on Tourism. Tune in once again next week for another episode. See you soon.